signs for all our military personnel, serving here and abroad, and all those suffering from the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please be seated. Mr. Mitch.
Notice requirement of the open public meeting law have been satisfied concerning this meeting. The Home News Tribune, the Star Ledger published a notice on December 10th, 2021. It was posted on the municipal bulletin board and should be so noted in the minutes of this meeting. Councilman Spiller.
Here.
Councilwoman Meehan.
Here.
Councilman Patel. Councilman Anderson. Councilwoman De Jesus.
Here.
Councilman Small. Councilwoman McAuliffe.
Here.
Vice President Ficarra.
Here.
And President Bauer.
Here.
Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from February 1st?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We're beginning this evening with two second reading ordinances. I'm going to take them together. They're both amendments to Chapter 7 of the revised ordinances, are both with regards to handicap parking. With that said, we're going to take letters A and B as consent. The first is an amendment to delete a handicap parking space at 64A Golden Square. The second is to add a handicap parking space at St. James Avenue in Woodbridge. Can I get a motion to take these ordinances up on second and third reading and the public hearing be open?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. The public hearing is now open on letters A and B only. Hearing no comment from the public, can I get a motion that the public hearing be closed, the ordinance be adopted and submitted to the mayor for approval as required by law?
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. This evening you'll have one first reading ordinance. It's listed as letter C. Can I get a motion that this ordinance be passed on first reading, published in the Home News Tribune on February 18, 2022, with notice of public hearing to be held on March 1st, 2022 at 6 p.m.
Motion.
Second.
Any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. And finally, we have 18 resolutions before you by consent. If I get a motion to approve them by consent.
Motion.
Second.
Are there any questions or comments from council? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Mr. President.
Thank you. This time we will go to the public portion of our meeting. Please state your name, part of the township or state you are from. You have a one-time, 5-minute time period. Remember, all video taking must be taken from the designated area in the rear of the room, and there will be no shouting from your seats. Please respect each other, and please make sure all signs or posters do not block walkway aisles. And also remember, each person is different from one another. Remember, we all have one thing in common. We are all different. Thank you. Yes.
Hello, Mr. President, Ken Gardner, 101 Stoddard Avenue, Woodbridge. I was very disappointed to hear at the last council meeting that our new councilwoman has a conflict with her business and will not be able to vote on the even more planned monstrosities for our downtown neighborhood, not be able to oppose those on behalf of the residents of Woodbridge and Seawarn. Then I got my mail and was just reminiscing. And I was remembering back to when more than 30 years ago, when I just joined the fire company. It was the first significant house fire I was to, just over the bridge here in Seawarn on Woodbridge Avenue. And we were in the fire, working hard. And after the fire, after that, I came out and Bobby Minkler, our commissioner, was there working that night and said to me, Ken, you're lucky you didn't panic. Your air pack malfunctioned and you've got about a breath left of air in it. So that wasn't political. And then when I was a second assistant fire chief, we had a house fire on High Street here in Woodbridge where a woman actually died. I was on the second floor on the hose line with Dave Hines, who's our current union president in Local 290. There was fire all around us, and then there was a problem with the hose. We lost all the water pressure. Again, we just dealt with the issue, and most importantly, 2 firefighters went in and 2 firefighters came out. Now, my other opponent in the election, Mr. Barcelona, our families have been friends for years. He's a good man as well. Not not a member, hasn't been a firefighter. But, you know, one of the things I think even more so than that experience, also being on the Board of Fire Commissioners, you have to deal with the budget and with taxes. We know our tax bill came out. Many people are complaining that the taxes have gone up. And so representing the taxpayers is not always the easiest thing to do. We've got a strong union. Other groups come together, and you've got to be willing to take a stand. When I was on the board before, between 2008 and 2016, I served as the chairman of the Safety Committee and also created and served as chairman of our Emergency Preparedness Committee. And between those two committees, we brought ideas out and implemented them for firefighter safety. Not only that, between Hurricanes Irene and Hurricane Sandy, we were able to put other things in place to help us better respond to the needs of the people in Seawarden and Woodbridge when Hurricane Sandy hit and pushed its way up the Woodbridge River. Again, all non-political. This election for fire commissioner, which is Saturday, and if you live in Woodbridge, I think people know it's great going around town. When I bang on somebody's door, they tell me the fire commissioner's election is the 19th between 2 and 9 p.m. at the Woodbridge Firehouse or the Seawarden Library if you are in District 1. The election is not about fire safety. I've demonstrated on the board, we were able to actually hold the taxis steady for 3 of those years. Nobody died, nobody was injured. The raises still went through and everything worked out. It's not about fire safety, it's about how the fire district is funded. We've heard about these monstrosities downtown here where there's not going to be any need for additional schools for the students, and we're not going to have to hire any firefighters. And then the mayor said at the last meeting that these pilots haven't started paying yet, so that's why he hasn't given the fire district any money. But then I read the paper with the mayor's State of the Township address where he was saying that he gave 25% of the pilot money to build the new Ross Street School. Now that school is right around the block from the firehouse. I don't know how there was money for the school, but there's not any money for the fire district. It's about funding. I've asked before, I'll continue to ask. The fire district has made some significant changes, moved in the right direction, I think, as well. But it's looking more like a municipal fire department as opposed to a district fire department. I think the salaries and the costs by that should not just be borne by the residents in District 1 in Woodbridge and Seawarden. It should be borne by the residents across the whole township. The structure that they're putting in place, and I would continue, is something that will benefit the entire township. And so it should not be the burden of just the taxpayers in this district. It should be the entire town that looks for it. The mayor said, he made the decision, it's not a rule or a law, that he doesn't think that we should be paying, using pilot money to pay the salaries. Well, they shouldn't be put on the backs of the fire district, and I think that with all the pilot and all the problems that we're going to have from, they should start funding the fire district properly. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
Are there any comments from the public this evening? Any other comments?
Ed McGuinn, Port Reading. I just wanted to thank the council. They may not know, a lot of you probably weren't around here, and the mayor. You see, watching one of your council meetings, I seen a gentleman disparaging my ancestral, some of my ancestors. My ancestors were in the 7th Virginia, and I founded the 7th Virginia Cavalry that marches in this town. And I appreciate it. For 39 years, we held programs at the Parker Press from 1978 until probably roughly about 2017. Not one person of color was hung from a tree. No churches were burnt. Nobody was lynched. Everybody had a good time down there studying history. And to be told, my ancestors, which would probably drive this one individual crazy, my ancestors were at Harper's Ferry, and they arrested John Brown. And just so everybody understands something, the very first person that was killed at Harper's Ferry by John Brown was a free black man who was a conductor on the Baltimore Ohio Railroad. And if the South was so bad, why is it that in the 1860 census showed there was more free people of color living in Virginia than Massachusetts? I'm a Southerner, born and bred, and I'm not going to apologize for anything I did. When my ancestors ended the war, they went to Winchester on May 25th and signed their oaths of allegiance to give their allegiance back to this country. And my allegiance is still with this country. And I despise anybody making a comment about something that had no bearing whatsoever for 39 years. All of a sudden, you want to make it a big deal. Well, you know what? I'm a firm believer in what that says. Heritage, not hate. And I wear this flag proudly, and I don't care what any of these people who come in here have anything to say about it.
Thank you.
Any other comments this evening from the public?
Hello, everybody. Mr. President. My name is Kirk Dawkins. I'm new to this community. I am a resident of Woodbridge Hills Senior Housing, a 55 and over community. It's my first time at one of these meetings. I've never seen any of y'all before, so you gotta bear with me, all right? Now, I came here earlier today to try to find out about what this, this meeting that's going to happen today. I didn't really find much anything out, but I live in a community where management has raised our rents 5%, 7.5%. I'm not sure if that's all is legitimate. I don't know if that's legal. I don't know if they had the right to just do it arbitrarily like that. But in a 55-year-old community with residents who are living on fixed incomes, and we need some help. So I'm here because we need some help. Now, I am the acting president of the tenant organization for this Woodbridge Hill. Now, Woodbridge Hills residents is about 800 residents. They're all 55 and over, which is like the main voting block. They all Democrats too. I don't know if that kind of like help, but we need some help. And we have this this clubhouse that's supposed to be part of Woodbridge Hills. We pay amenity fees for this clubhouse. The amenity fees are anywhere from $395 to $495 per year per resident, and it's been closed since March 2020, and they still collecting the fees, right? So this clubhouse was a main place where all the seniors, it's supposed to be an active adult community, and there is no clubhouse that they making us pay for. It's part of our rent. They're charging us every single year. Every time our rent is, every time our lease is up. And so my main purpose here is that I need our representatives to come and help us out, give us some direction and how we can remedy this situation. Now, I've had my lawyer contact their lawyer, and they responded that the clubhouse is closed because of COVID, right? Now, I did a little research, and this Continental Properties, Garden Homes, the owners of this property have other properties with gyms and clubhouses that are open. I don't understand why our clubhouse has to be closed. Now, so, I would like if anybody could contact me or contact anybody that's part of the women that's sitting over there are also the building captains, the ones to the far right are building captains from from Woodbridge Hills. We all came down here together. And I really don't know who to talk to. Like I said, I just moved here in 2019, October 2019. A lot of them been here much longer. And, if anybody, can help me, I'll be, I'm here. All right, that's it.
Thank you.
Council President,
You want me to,
Yes.
if I, yeah, Mayor.
you go first.
So I was going to say to you that I represent the rent leveling board here in town. We do have a rent control ordinance which sets a maximum amount of increase. However, there's a state law that goes back a number of decades, which exempts certain new construction after 1987. And my understanding is, I'm doing some research on it, but my understanding is that Woodbridge Hills was constructed after that, and therefore they are exempt from that rent. With regard to the common area of the game room, I'm not aware of anything that would mandate it be closed. But if you'd like to stick around after the meeting, I'd be happy to talk to you and see if I can be of some help. Okay? Thank you. Sorry, Mayor.
Council President, I would just add that we've had conversations with Sonny Ballas Tracy a couple of years ago. Your most recent president, maybe before you, Giovanni or Giannone, something like that, had lengthy conversations with him. I put him in touch with, and we had common conversations with our attorney to see if we could help with that. As far as the clubhouse, I'm happy to share all that information with you. I'll see if we have any emails. We also, the guy's name, I gave a lengthy email that just basically said what Craig said, that when we researched the issue, his name was KRO something. I don't remember if he's an officer or just a regular resident. I'll find his name for you. Give me your emails, we'll share everything we have. But we had a long conversation with him, and we gave him essentially the same answer that Craig just gave you as far as the rent control. That looks like it's out of control of the 5%. It is separate, so that we can't do much with. But don't leave until, when you're leaving, I'll go out and I'll get all your email addresses and we'll share everything, and we're happy to talk to you. You have to speak from there, ma'am, I'm sorry. I'll talk to you after the meeting, though.
Any other comments this evening from the public?
Good evening, Stephen from Old Fords. To the council, on behalf of my brothers, I'd like to apologize. This will be the last council meeting we are attending. We just got, the back and forth. Got a little tired of being slandered and you guys being berated constantly. All we want to do is have these people's business heard, legitimate business. It's an ideology, not facts. We're here to see some other speakers, and then we'll quietly leave. But this is the last time you're going to see the Proud Boys. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public this evening?
Good evening, Tom Maris, Queens, New Jersey. I'd like to thank the previous speakers for coming forward and stating what they had to say. And I would ask that Mr. Mitch make a notation of the time that the gentleman that spoke about the housing and the rent control was given and the amount of time that was in the reply. I think that exceeded 5 minutes, and you may have just set a precedent. But I will ask that we get that recorded and so marked. That said, I want to get into some things we left from last time, where I had asked certain questions of our new councilwoman, and she was not allowed or chose not to answer, but the council president did answer in her stead. And I note that Mr. Gardner had made mention of that this evening. One of the questions was she concerned with who, or was she going to be endorsing any of the candidates for the District 1 Fire Department? There was no response, but the newest flyer shows that obviously she's with the McCormick team, and she has in fact endorsed 2 of the candidates out of the 3 that are running. I'm not going to get into the politics of it. I'm just talking about, we ask questions and somebody's not allowed to answer. It's kind of disparaging. And as far as whether she has business interests currently or has had business in the first ward, I don't know why that would preclude her from being able, your words, our council president, which was on tape, from going ahead and voting on anything unless it affected her directly. Certainly, Councilwoman Meehan is a businesswoman, very accomplished one, has a business in Colonia, has voted on many things that pertain to Colonia and throughout the township, because her publication goes out through the whole township. Why would she not be excluded also on voting for many things? I had also brought up whether the apartments, and I'd still be interested in the Councilwoman's opinion on that, those 94 apartment units that are planned to go right across from the new school, the Ross Street School, how she views that from a safety standpoint and the welfare of the community, welfare of the children. I'd like her response on that, if she would, or if she's allowed to speak to it. I also brought up questions about government expenditures and financing mailings. Because time is short and I won't be able to cover it all, I got partial answers. But I noticed that a lot of this is not being addressed in my responses, or I was told, well, at least the bank's paying something and we get $300 back out of it. But there's quite a significant, thousands of dollars being spent on this literature, part of which is attributable to the Evanel Arts Center. And in that regard, I'm also wondering why the information I was given didn't give a separate breakout for what it costs to print their literature, and do in fact the club and also the community center keep their own books? Are you commingling these costs? If they're broken down, I'd like a breakdown by each one and make sure that each party that had a printed flyer is charged appropriately from the town. There was another question about the lease agreement that's going forth for parking up there from the Union in Avenel, from a Union Hall. And it comes back that that's over $500 a month, but the agreement, the lease, is taken out in the name of Woodbridge Township rather than being taken out in the name of the Avenel Arts, who is going to be the primary beneficiary and the actual user of that property. Why was that not segregated out? And then finally, there was a question about, with all the millions coming in, I think, again, Mr. Gardner had mentioned this, into the coffers, did everybody get a lovely Valentine's card from the township saying your taxes have gone up? Can you please answer that, please? One more thing, I just want to thank these gentlemen for coming out too. I know they've been much aligned. They have been here before. They have always conducted themselves as gentlemen. They have been in non-uniform, if you want to call it, or their colors, at school board meeting, and again, they conducted themselves appropriately and behaved, and I think they're responsible citizens, and that's what they've shown themselves to be, as unlike someone else that has been here berating this town, this administration, and the community at large. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I did see you Oprah some of your questions. Did it come to your findings? Did they answer your questions that you Oprah?
It has answered them in part, not entirely. I'll come back with a revised Oprah with commentary on it, so it'll make it easier to address. But yes, they did give me some of the information about the mailing, but not the breakdown of the cost, nor how they are broken down to individual entities.
Your issue with thank you, Mr. Mayor.
This is why I wanted to note it. You extended the courtesy of a response to the gentleman, both from the attorney and from the mayor. That is in violation now of Open Public Meetings Act.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public this evening?
Good evening. Paul Lund, Hope Lawn. The tax bill went up 5.4% year over year. I know there was a lot of construction going on with the hopes that there'll be revenue generated. I don't know if it'll ever translate to tax relief, but I am curious about why the increase, which was greater than the cost of living increase I got from my employer. And also considering that federal funds were, I think, advanced and made their way down to the municipal level to offset some of the cost of dealing with COVID. So if someone could speak to that, I appreciate it.
Council President, I'm not sure if the 5.4% number is correct. I'm just questioning you to properly compare the right numbers when evaluating what the taxes went up.
Quarter over
You have to add the January bill to the prior July bill and compare that to the January before that and the July before that, or compare calendar year January and July to calendar year January and July. When you do that, I don't think you'll see 5.4%. It's a little complicated because the first half bill is always greater than the second half bill. So people get the first half bill and double it because it's in quarters, and compare that to the July bill and double that, which is in quarters. That's always going to show a large increase, but it's only because of the timing. The town is on a fiscal year ending June 30th, but we don't know our budget till the year is over. The Board of Ed is on a June 30th year end, but they know their budget before the year ends. The fire companies in the county are on a calendar year, and they don't know their budget until after the January bills go out. So everybody's different. The bottom line is that the Board of Ed is the majority of your tax bill, and they went up last year. The county is a large part of the tax bill, and they went up last year. The town is about 27.5% of your tax bill, and we went up, but I do believe we went up by less. I know we went up by less than the board, and I'm pretty sure we went up by less than the county. And of course, the fire districts all come into that. So it's a complicated issue. It's all explained on our website. There's an entire summary of how property taxes work in Woodbridge. It's much longer than I just explained, but people have to compare the right things, and we get beat up every January because people just look at July and say, wait a minute, my taxes are up $500. Nobody's house taxes on a basic house went up $500. It just looks that way because you're comparing the wrong things, and January is always higher. As far as the lost revenue, we did get reimbursed from the CARES Act, but all that replaced lost revenue. We didn't really have much COVID costs that weren't reimbursed. Almost all of what we got went to lost revenues. The hotel taxes weren't coming in, permit fees, licenses weren't coming in. I can't think of everything else now, but there was a lot of basic revenues. Our club was closed for a period. Our community center was closed for a period. They're both town-run. So the money we made from the CARES Act reimbursed the revenue we lost. We didn't make anything on that. So that's the way that worked. We didn't need to get reimbursed for COVID because most of the other sources reimbursed us for COVID.
One quick question. The pilot programs, is the pilot program revenue contingent on occupancy, or are the developers paying that from day one, so to speak?
If it's a warehouse, it's not based on occupancy. A warehouse is based on taxes, whatever they would have been. Square feet of the warehouse, plus amenities, this is your tax bill. 85% of that's what you pay us. Same with the power plants. The residential apartment complexes are based on the rents they collect, which is, I think, in a lot of cases, good for us because every single one, well, 2 have opened so far, 3 have opened so far, and they're all charging more today than they did the first apartment they rented. So Avenel Station Village is fully rented with a long waiting list. The Grandin Metro Park is just about fully rented, and they're starting on their 4th building. And the Greens and Avenue and Green, where Riffy's was, just has 2 floors rented. In every case, if they started at 2,000, they're up at 2,200. They started at 1,800, they're at 2,100. So I think that works in our advantage. But the answer to your question is it's based on the revenues they collect. And it's not just rent, it's parking fees, it's any amenity fees. If you pay for dog walks or you pay for special services or whatever, all that counts and we get a percentage of all that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
that. Last question, Howard. On the top of Lee Avenue and the corner of Pennsylvania Avenue, there's a stop sign that's about 30 degrees off of vertical. I was wondering if that's been brought up yet.
No, thank you, I'll look into it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public this evening?
Oh, okay.
Okay, how you guys doing? I'm Rick Maida. As many of you know, I'm a candidate for Congress, but I'm not here for political reasons. I'm here because I, too, am a new resident of Woodbridge. And as a new resident, while I don't have any questions for council right now at the moment, I do have a few rhetorical questions that I'm asking more so as a father and as a parent. And I'm here as I'm looking into the school districts, and I have 3 boys, as many of you know, that are of school age. I'm asking some questions about what's going on in Woodbridge. See, my father-in-law has been a business owner here for more than 40 years on the Island side of Woodbridge, in Oak Tree Road. And I start to ask questions about diversity in the council, respect for diversity throughout the entire township and representation. And I'm starting to look at the school district and asking about some of the questions, maybe rhetorically right now, about the grades, about how the school functions, asking some questions about the indoctrination policies, and what kind of rights do parents have or can preserve versus what kind of indoctrination is going on within the schools. See, as a parent, this is a big concern of mine. I'm also concerned about some of the mask mandates, and I know Governor Murphy lifted some of that, what the long-term impact will be on our children, developmental, and others. See, these are some of the questions I'm asking as we start to explore some of the cultural division that's happened both in our country, in our state, and specifically at the local levels. And this is important to me. It's important to my community. It's important to many of us. In fact, it's important to a lot of these gentlemen who have come here today too, asking about how we're preserving our constitutional rights, how we're protecting our history, our American history, and making sure that our children are taught both the good and the bad of our history. Because we all know, and you guys are very educated folks, that history will repeat itself if it's not taught. So these are the questions I'm asking, albeit rhetorically today before council. But I do want to mention that we will be asking these questions at some of the school board meetings as well. As I'm hearing about the taxes increasing, you know, that's obviously a cringeworthy moment for anybody moving into a district. And imagining that 60 to 70% of those tax dollars are going to fund the school districts. There's a lot of questions that are going to be asked, I think, about how they're functioning. Now, I'm a kind of an optimistic guy. You know, I'm a glass half full, even when it's empty kind of guy. And I believe that all of you are here to do the right thing, to make sure that the future of our country for our children are preserved. Because, you know, when my father immigrated here, he only had $100 in his pocket. You know, we didn't have much, but we lived the American dream through hard work and humble beginnings. And that's important to me because that American dream I want to make sure is available for my 3 children. So I just want to say hello and welcome as a new resident. I look forward to interacting more with all of you and interacting more at the school board meetings as well. I think where a lot of questions have to be asked because I really care about what the future of our local township and our school is going to be for our children. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any other comments from the public this evening?
Good evening to everybody. John Retired Woodbridge. It was a lot said tonight. It's nice turnout, as a matter of fact, that's great. But again, we went through a lot of things last couple of months. And I guess we did a lot of achievement. There were a lot of people. And again, it's still a free country. And I'm sad to hear the Proud Boys won't attend anymore. I would say they're welcome to come anytime as any other citizen that has something to say positive, to see what's happening and say the opinion what has to be done. But please, don't ever deny people freedom. There was said about the fire department. I'm very, very in support of the fire department. Anything the safety, police department, as you know, forever. What I'm concerned, a lot of the stuff that we do now should be done 2 years ago. When you talk to you politicians, you talk one way. You talk people that do the fight, that do the strict work, they tell you something else. We do need equipment. We do anything that's necessary to do the job. Nobody knows better than those people that do the job, police and fire department, and of course, anybody else. They should be in charge to say what they need. They should not be told what they need. And Mayor said it's not political. Whatever things come from the fire department, school board, anything else is always there. Although Woodbridge District Fire Department, it's Woodbridge proper. Mayor is not resident of Woodbridge proper. He's a mayor, but he's colonial. So please, Mayor, let us people that run this fire department, commissioners, fire people, they should be the one to choose what they want to do. And again, every time your picture is there, and most important, you have a guy on the bottom line, the treasurer, for 7 years that we find out that people they supported for council or school board or something, there were 27 violations, late filing, amended filing, and that's again. Let those people that run those things tell you what they need, but don't tell them what it is. Stay out of it. I'll talk about the Avenel Communities, Avenel Art Center. Last meeting, you did say that you rent the place. You don't own the land, we just rent it. My question would be, is that what kind of agreement do you have? How much rent to pay? What happens if that art center actually closes up or something? What happens to the property and what happens to those buildings that you put on? That's another one. Ward 1 Councilwoman, congratulations. I understand, we know that she ran the business for years. She closed up almost 2 years ago, I believe, because not to her will, she was forced out because that stuff crossed the street. And then, what takes so long to open the business? You want to revive the business down Main Street. What takes so long to open the business? What's the obstacle you have to do? If she couldn't do it, who else can do it? What's the problem? And Councilwoman McPhail, I would like to know what district you're from in Woodbridge.
I'm from Ward 1.
Okay, you didn't know that.
She didn't understand what you're talking about.
Well, I know what I'm talking about.
Oh, I'm District 1, Ward 1. I live
Okay,
right
okay,
downtown.
Okay, again, what we have to do, get together, sell like it is, but don't talk. You think the rest of the residents are just the morons. They don't know what's going on. You talk about is, you gotta raise the taxes. You collect the fees. And yet, the people that are paying those fees, they don't get the services. You just said to German that is 55 and over. If they don't have services, they should not pay the fees. And that's not because the state, 10 states say so, or a community says so. You don't get services, you should charge the people. Give them a break. But again, taxes. Raise the taxes. 2% fire department, 2% county, 2% you, 2% school.
Thank you.
You went out there.
Excuse me, your time's up.
Where is the money coming from?
Thank you.
Are there any other comments from the public this evening? Hearing no other comment, can I get a motion that the public comment portion be closed?
Motion?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. We'll go into the agenda.
Then we'll go to our agendas. My agenda's in order. I have a few announcements. Muscular Dystrophy Bowl-a-thon, sponsored by the Woodbridge Township Professional Firefighters, IAFF Local 290, will be Saturday, March 5th, 2022, at the Woodbridge Bowling Center from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. $11 a blow, unlimited games, $9 minimum donation to the MDA. For further information, call 732-882-3447. T-shirts are included with your donation. Come out for a good cause. Hackensack Meridian, First on Scene, is brought to you by the Hackensack Meridian Health and Woodbridge Police. It's what do I do until help arrives? Learn life-saving techniques for free. That'll be held on March 22nd from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at the Woodbridge Community Center, 600 Main Street, Woodbridge, New Jersey. Registration is required and class size is limited. For more information, just contact me at 732-887-9796. Also, the American Irish Association of Woodbridge is Parade of Food Community Food Drive, February 15th through March 12th. Please consider donating to this help the community in this food drive. Our drop-off locations are all 9 fire districts in Woodbridge Township. That's all I have tonight. Council Vice President Vaccaro.
Thank you, Council President. Boy, you really know how to clear the room.
Oh, yeah.
Couple of things on my agenda. First, at the community center, most parents know that Monday is a holiday, President's Day. There is no school. If the students show their school ID at our community center, admission for roller skating and ice skating is cut in half. Renting the skates are still going to cost money, but it's a good day, and the opportunity for roller skating is 12 to 3 and ice skating is 12 to 2, and that's at our community center. Also at the community center, looking ahead to early March, March the 5th, they're having a Zumbathon for Have a Heart, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Admission is free, but if you donate, they're asking that you please donate a non-perishable food item. And also, they have an ongoing Learn to Ice Skate and Learn to Hockey Skate program at the community center. Now that we have 2 hockey rinks, it's a very strong sport in our town, and it's a good opportunity to learn how to play. Moving down my agenda to the vaccination clinics held at our health department. To date, we've had 120 clinics. Just this past week, 139 vax doses were administered. Upcoming, might be a little late, but for February 17th, 3 to 6 is an adult. Walk-ups are accepted. February 22nd from 4 to 6 p.m. is children, 5 to 11. Walk-ups are accepted. And 224 is also adult, 3 to 6 walk-ups accepted. Booster shots are being administered and highly recommended. Also from the health department, I mentioned at our last meeting that we are in the process of securing a mobile health unit to be used throughout our community, however we see needed, into areas that might have some issues with access to with good health. And it's a mobile unit again. The specifications for this mobile unit have been completed. The order is about ready to go out, but due to the specialization of this unit and the nature of all of it, it may take a production time of a few months, so I will try to keep you updated. And then one final thing I just wanted to report on. Back a few years ago, there was a large concern for our police department receiving calls involving people that might have some mental health issues. Our department reached out to the Specialized Case Management and Outreach Services, and a report today from our Deputy Director and Director that the follow-up has been great with the officers. We are told that the officers appreciate the support and try to avoid chronic calls for people with mental health issues. This service is offered to us 24/7, so that if the people in the management system are not open, we can go to our recovery coaches that will follow through and follow up on it. The people that are involved speak to our police officers when they mustered, and that's scheduled for this past March. Through our health department, there's going to be a second layer of follow-up through Mr. Ravino, and he has developed a form so that when the police do their report, not only does it go to the management system, but it goes to our health department. So there's opportunities to avoid our police department having to interact with people with mental health issues on a regular basis and really actually help them to get cured. And that is all the good news, and I really commend our police department. This was an issue that was brought up early on during the Black Lives Matter movement and locally by our wild people, and Woodbridge Township was quick to work on that and address that, and I commend them for that. Although the people that brought it up are not here to hear this, hopefully they're watching. On a sad note, just in January alone, from our police department, there were 36 referrals from our folks just in January alone. So it just goes to show you that mental health is truly an issue as we come out of the COVID times. But kudos to Director, to our police department, and to your administration. That's all I have, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Small.
Thank you, Council President. Number 14 on my agenda, Mayor Max Cafe, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., 881 West Avenue, Port Reading. Please stop by, have a late lunch, early breakfast, have a late breakfast or an early lunch. It depends who you are, so whatever. Number 18, I just got a list of our Monday night concerts. I'm happy to announce from June 20th through August 29th, Jesse Garin, that's the Elvis tribute band, Sky's the Limit, Vito Picone, Any Eggerts? I'm messing this up. I need your glasses, Greg. Last week, we swapped each other. Oh, this is worse. Bobby Wilson, Shadows of the 60s, the Cameos, the Capris, Del Satins, and the Infernos. Number 18 on my agenda is the 48th Annual St. Patrick's Day Parade to be held March 13th, 1:30 p.m. Remember, we missed it last year, so really happy to have this back. Hopefully we have a beautiful day and get a big crowd on hand. And that's all I have. Just, God bless our police department, our firefighters, our EMTs, our township employees, and God bless America. That's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilwoman De Jesus.
Thank you, Council President. Item number 10 on my agenda, the Free Public Library of Woodbridge. On Thursday, February 24th at 6 p.m., they will have an event to learn about eviction law, courtesy of the New Jersey Citizen Action Education Fund. That will be at 6 p.m. You can attend in person. You can register at the library, woodbridgelibrary.org, or you can receive a Zoom link if you're not comfortable being there in person. Again, that will be Thursday, February 24th. Explore the night sky on Wednesday, March 2nd at 7 p.m. with the New Jersey Astronomical Association, which operates the largest public observatory in New Jersey. Find out how easy it is to view the International Space Station and satellites without the need for a telescope. This is a virtual workshop only. The library will also host 2 webinars for the college bound. On Thursday, February 27th, College GPS will present Taking Charge of College Planning, and on Thursday, March 3rd, The Ultimate Guide to Medical Schools. Also, the entrepreneurs and small business owners, formerly Business Tuesdays, will be held on the 2nd floor of the main library at 7 p.m. on Tuesday, February 22nd. The meetup will include a show and tell of interesting marketing, time management, and business connection tools. All attendees will receive a book of their choice from the Friends Book Sale display. Again, contact the Woodbridge Library at 732-634-4450, extension 5, for assistance. Item number 14, Girl Scouts. It is cookie season, so please support our local Girl Scouts troops throughout the township. You have seen them at the Woodbridge Bowling in the middle of a snowstorm. They were there selling cookies. Again, I'm just asking everyone in our township to please, if you see a Girl Scout troop selling cookies, just buy a box if you can. And I am so proud to announce that we will be celebrating Women's History Month in Woodbridge Township. We will be raising the flag to recognize the month of March as Women's History Month on March 1st at 5:30 p.m. and all are invited. Bring your daughters, your friends, your wives. Just celebrate the women in your life. And again, this will be the first time that we are doing this, March 1st at 5:30 p.m. And that is all that I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Spiller.
Thank you, Council President. I apologize. I had to excuse myself. There's a large commercial fire in Avenel right now, so pray for thoughts and prayers to everyone involved. Item number 9, Fish Fry Fridays return at the Avenel Knights of Columbus, Columbian Club of Avenel, starting Friday, March 4th. Please come and enjoy all the dishes besides the obvious fish that they always have to offer. This year will be curbside again, and you can call 732-636-9615 to make your reservations. Dinner is between 4:30 and 6:30. Item number 14, Maple Tree Senior Center. I'm pleased to announce that the center now has over 130 members after just opening in October. If you're over 60 and a township resident and interested in joining and taking part in all the great activities and events that they have there, please call 732-259-0910 and ask for Hank. And as always, Stowe Senior Transportation of Woodbridge is always available for our seniors to be driven to and from. Rest of my agenda is in order, Council President. Thank you. Thank you to all our emergency responders, fire, EMS, our Woodbridge Police Department, CERT, and all of our public works and township employees. God bless America. Thank you, Council President Bauer.
Thank you. Councilwoman Meehan.
Thank you, Council President. Just to piggyback off of what Councilman Figueroa said about mental health, going down on my agenda, number 12, is addiction services. This has been a really rough couple years for people, and people are really struggling. So please, we can't get that out enough, that if you are in trouble and you need help, we have an addictions service hotline. Anyone can call if they or a loved one are struggling with substance abuse. A recovery coach is on call 24/7, and all calls are confidential. If you or somebody you know has an issue, you can call 732-596-4199. It is important, get help. There's people here to help you. And then just one announcement, 15th Annual Woodbridge Charity Chili Cook-Off will be Sunday, March 6th. It will be from 12 to 2 at J.J. Biddings on Main Street. You can come and sample Woodbridge's finest chili. It's $10, and if you'd like to enter your chili, you can call Eileen at 732-596-4047. And all proceeds from this event will go to Jessica Beretta, who's a Woodbridge Township resident, also was employed here with Woodbridge Township on our film crew, who was in a horrific accident in January. So all the money we raise that day will go to her family. So we wish her well, and we're thinking of her. So that's all I have this evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Anderson and Councilman Patel are excused. Councilwoman McCullough.
Thank you, Council President. Going on my agenda, number 3, the Chamber of Commerce. Looking ahead to May, the street fair will be on this year, so we're looking for crafters and vendors. You can log on to streetfair.com to get the information, and hopefully someone will set up for that. There's also going to be the annual golf outing on June 13th. It's a little bit away, but we'd like to see how many people we can get going on that, so it's important to go ahead and go up to the Chamber website, woodbridgechamber.com, and you can get a lot of information about what's going on with the Chamber of Commerce, which is for a lot of local businesses. Also, number 4, the Buy Local program, which is We Believe in Main Street. So we'd like to tell you about the Downtown Dollars. You can go onto the website, which is Downtown Woodbridge, and you can go ahead and buy. There's 27 different businesses that are involved in the Downtown Dollars. If you purchase $50, you get a $10 free gift certificate. If you purchase $100, you can get a $20 gift certificate. And you can use that amongst any of the 27 different businesses. You don't have to use it at one place at one time. We also wanted to let you know that today we had the grand opening for Shinko Hibachi Japanese Steakhouse at 116B Main Street. They'll be opening starting tomorrow from 11 to 9, Monday through Saturday. It's primarily a takeout service. You can order food and eat in there, but there is no table service. And the phone number is 732-582-6118, or you can contact them at their website at www.shinkohibachi.com. Also, we'd like to let you know on number 12 on my agenda that the election for fire commissioner is this Saturday from 9 to 2 if you're a Woodbridge resident at the fire department on School Street. And if you're a Seawarren resident, you'd be going to the library on West Avenue, and that's from 9 to 2. Also, number 15, at the Acacia Center on February 22nd, we're going to have the Martin Luther King Essay Awards handed out for all 25 elementary schools. And that is at 6 p.m., and the address is 95 Port Reading Avenue, and that would be a really nice event for people to attend to see what the students of Woodbridge Township are doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to correct you, the fire commissioners in all districts on that Saturday are from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m.
I only know about Ward 1, I'm sorry.
They're all the same, okay? So all fire districts are up for budgets and elections, so come out and vote on the 19th, from 2 p.m. to 9 p.m. Mr. Mitch.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple comments. Number 1, letter A, I'll delete that from my agenda as you approve that transfer, that liquor license tonight. It looks like we're working on possibly 2 or 3 for approval next week. With that said, I just also want to quickly, for those of you who are not used to seeing Cheryl Sharkey here, she's our fairly newly appointed deputy clerk, but she's joining us tonight just to get her feet wet, so to speak. So thank you for allowing her to be here.
That's it. Okay. Eric McCormick, that was quick. McCormick?
The only thing I want to mention is one of the residents got up and said something about municipal services. The people here from Woodbridge Hills are complaining about the services they get from the Woodbridge Hills management. They're not complaining about town services. I have such little complaints, and we all have such little complaints about town services, and when we get them, we deal with them. So he went on for 2 or 3 minutes about municipal services, and we should do better. Their issue's not with us. We're going to help them. We have been helping them. I'm going to meet them right after this, and we'll do everything we can. We'll give them, as I said, our attorney did some homework. We've got emails. We've done research on the rent control. The rent control board attorneys here will help them any way we can. I want to make crystal clear that he was confusing their issue with private services from a private company with municipal services. There's no problem with municipal services as of this issue. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Hunter.
Thank you, Council President. Just one traffic ordinance. That's it.
Thank you. Director Doherty.
Thank you, Council President. Just our standard biweekly refunds. Thank you.
Thank you. Director Brew.
Thank you, Council President. My agenda's in order.
Thank you. This is Commissioner Zillow.
Thank you, Council President. I have several items on my agenda tonight. Under Administration and Finance, I have a tax and sewer overpayment, and I have a tax successor software. Also, I have a purchase of a new single-axle hook loader container body, an asset purchase agreement for security equipment. Thank you, Council President.
Can I just, one more, that reminded me when he said tax software, so I could. We have a problem with our tax software company. There's no question our tax bills were late. We have not yet sent out, we just sent out the cards that people get, a little green card. It's no longer green, but that's beside the point. So we are replacing our tax software company. But anybody who doesn't have that card, you should understand that you should not use that card necessarily to prepare your taxes, because that card shows the taxes levied on your home based on the assessment of your home. It does not show what you paid in taxes, because in many cases, people get the property tax rebate, homestead rebate, or the senior freeze, or the veterans deduction, or the senior deduction, and they all come off that number. So when you do get that card from us, and again, it'll be this week, it's delayed, you're not supposed to rely on that. You can go online and you can check your exact amount of property taxes paid anytime you want. It's all there, it's all public, but you really shouldn't count on that card to tell you what you paid in taxes, especially if you're a senior and get one of those discounted programs, just so you know. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Mayor, I'm not sure if you did it.
Speaking of seniors, what's your question, Greg?
Yes. As a senior, I have a little clarity issue. When you do your code blue, or whatever it is, code red that you maybe mentioned?
Oh, it's a good idea. Yeah, thanks.
That's what I'm here for.
All right, pal.
I thought you were here for the joke.
Thank you. Legal.
Nothing this evening, Council President.
I just have one more thing to say. If you have any safety issues, there's no need to wait for a council meeting for your concerns. You can reach anybody here on this dais, the mayor's office, and we'll get back to you ASAP. We do have some people come, state safety issues. Well, you know, if somebody could be hurt, we're talking about a stop sign, that should be told to us if there is an issue with the stop sign way before this meeting comes to a motion. So like I said, anybody in the public has any issues, safety, anything, as long as it's public, not private, we do try to help any citizens that have issues. We're here to help you. So don't, like I said, don't forget, reach out to anybody here on the dais, the mayor's office, and it's like the mayor and the administration, all our departments. They do a great job for this town. We get many services. I work in a utility company. I work in many towns, and they don't get the services that we get here in Woodbridge Township. I'd just like to thank all of them sitting over to my left for all that they do for our township. I'm looking for a motion for adjournment.
Motion.